What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is August 28th, 2020. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are well. In today's session, we'll be going over the trades we took this week and how it went, and then prepare for next week so we are ready to go on Monday. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about what happened in Japan at the PM, and we'll discuss that towards the later part of the session. But first things first, if you haven't joined our community Discord, please do. It's free to join. The link to sign up is in the description of the video. This is the place to be. Just a lot of good content here, analysis, chat with other traders, all that good stuff. Make sure you sign up, and without further ado, let's get started. So this week was a quiet week for us. 3 trades were taken, but they're all winning trades, and that was the important thing. Thursday and Friday were the Jackson Hole Symposium, so we knew a lot of the movements may not occur until during the events. For example, yesterday morning we saw the dollar index just go haywire, and even today some of the pairs are reacting to the news in Japan. So it was kind of a week where you get what you can and then you walk away from the markets. And a lot of the pairs that we were looking to trade, such as GU and EU, didn't really end up playing the way we wanted to, so we kind of set that aside. So the best trade for the week was USD CAD. It was just a very simple trade based on the 4-hour time frame, the resistance on the 4-hour, and then support we identified. We realized that USD CAD wanted to range all week. It's been ranging for, it's in a downtrend for a few months now, but it's been ranging for about 10 days now. So we knew that we could take advantage, and so we entered short up here, and we went into some drawdown, but then finally we started to go into profit, and we had a nice way down. This was a kind of a deep retrace, but this didn't get to our break-even point, so it was nice, and this was around 89 to 90 pips, depending on where exactly you got up, but it did reach our TP3, and then it dropped a bit more. We probably could have got into this, but this was during the Jackson Hole Symposium, and it was not trade that event, but a very simple trade idea just based off 2 levels, and other times maybe halfway or a quarter of the way down, but you'll get something out of the range. So here was so over the weekend we held this trade and get TP1, which is a nice resistance, sound okay? Hold on. Hope there's no interference. Let me check. My fan's off. Let me know if it's better. I kind of hear the static, but it's not too bad. Let me know if it's better. I remember yesterday my fan was on, so that was the reason, but today it's not like Okay, well, okay, I'm not moving anything, so just let me know on the chat if it's good. If it's good, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, so anyways, um, I'll try not to move. I'm not sure if I'm moving anything, but anyways, hopefully it's better now. I'll try to talk a bit louder. So USDN, right? We wanted to go short. We did go short. We got a quick 25 pips or 24 pips. Here is USDN, right? And that's quick clean move. Price went as low as 105.806, so a total of 35 pips, and then price pushed back up. Now this is why we like to move stops to break even before big news like the Jackson Hole Symposium, because stuff like this happens. So this candle actually, I think this candle actually dropped down and then launched back up, and so technically it did go to our next TP, but we were already stocked out by then. But it's just crazy to see price tap this level and then jump back up to this level, and these are all pre-drawn levels. So obviously price for some reason is pulled to these two levels. Then we rejected it and then came back down and we sold off. So basically, if we didn't have this move from news, we probably would have had a nice clean trade down like we did right here. But that's what happens when you have major events like the symposium. So, and not only that, we also had PCE this morning, personal spending, and then yesterday the important news was unemployment claims, which came bearish, and then the GDP, which came out slightly better. But um, this was a kind of a news-driven week from Wednesday going into Friday. So a lot of the moves were definitely newsworthy, and these type of candles you rarely see. And even when we saw this candle yesterday, we actually wanted to go long, but that's only if we got a closure above this level, which we did not. So the long was not taken. So USDN, 20, 25, 27 pips. That puts us around 130 for the week. Again, the accuracy is the most important thing for me. If I'm reaching 75 to 80% accuracy per trade, that's important for me rather than doing volume trading. But this is nice, right? So this is the type of trade where going into next week we can go short once we break this 4-hour support. So there's no harm, no foul from this, this manipulation move here, because we know the trend is down. We know the dollar is bearish. So next week what we can do is target this low right here, right? This is the next low, and this was the low we made back in July 21st. So you can see, we've used this current TP area as support at 105.300. So maybe next week we'll look for a daily break, and then we should go down. So that's fine for USD yen, and that was a week. So we had a lot of pending setups. So if you go over them, I'll just show you. And I like to send in chart work just because, for example, Euro CHF was one pending trade we had. And I have a Coke today. I didn't crack it. I just needed it. My goodness. All right, so here's Euro CHF. Obviously, the daily will tell you this week was this consolidated, right? So if you count the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days of doing nothing, absolutely nothing. There's no trade idea here. Obviously, the bias is short, and we wanted to do that. But if the daily is going to act this way, what can you really do? If you look at the 4-hour, you can kind of see it's just been ranging, right? Very, very choppy. I'll just draw a box. It's very choppy, and if you're a scalper, you probably thrive in these markets. But you can see here, right? It's just you literally spent all week doing nothing. So this is still an idea that we can keep looking out for, because the price action hasn't really changed since it's been consolidated, right? So maybe next week we can maybe have some movement happen. I don't know. It depends on how the market feels. I thought this week we might have it just because of the symposium, but obviously these pairs have minds of their own. Another pending setup was for Aussie NZD. This is a long, so let's check this out. Now there's also some pending setups that became active yesterday, but I did not call them. And so this is actually perfect, and this is actually a trade. If this was not Friday, I'd call it right now. But Aussie NZD, we were looking for a break to the upside to go long. That didn't happen, but price rewarded us with a short because it broke at the bottom of the consolidation zone. And this daily candle is nice as an inverted hammer. So next week, what we can do, and this is a trade for next week, guys. Looking to the left, I think this is the next key level. This resistance right here. You can see resistance back in August, not 2019, October 2019, and obviously this year in May 2020. We can take a short down to this level, and then maybe even down to these levels. But that looks pretty good. So instead of getting the long, where our alert was, we got a short, and so that's fine as well. So something like this, maybe back down to this long-term trend line is fine. So this is good. This is obviously a reversal. That's why I like trading consolidation breaks, because the reversal is clear as day and the breakout is clear as day. So when you get a breakout, it's very clear. When you get a reversal, it's also very clear. So this looks good. This will be a setup we can probably look at on Monday. But let's see the weekly. Let's just see if the weekly candle looks bearish. And yeah, that's a very good weekly candle. So you can see the weekly candle is a nice inverted hammer, and the one before that was also an inverted hammer. I do think that's a sell signal for us to go lower, and we'll target this high. And then if we break this high, I'm pretty sure price will go back to these lows that happened during the start of the pandemic. So that is set up on the table for next week. Let's see how it looks on Monday, and then we can maybe enter. Next trade was for, this is also NZD. We had one for, we just sent it into my signal channel. We had one for pound yen and euro NZD. So I'll quickly talk about that, and then we can move on. So here is Aussie NZD. Let me talk about that. Oh yeah, it was important. I wanted to call these two pairs. That's why I didn't send it in. But pound yen. So speaking of, let's do the pound yen. So last night, I sent in a message saying I really want to call the long, but I'm gonna wait. So if you go to the price action chat, here it is. Wanting to call a pound yen long, but it may retrace a bit before shooting up. So I'm like, I'm not gonna call it just yet. And so this is what happened. This is around the time where I sent that message, because I thought price was gonna teeter, and then price really jumped up. Right, it jumped up so high that it already got a first target. So my thought process when our first TP is reached, I usually wait for price action to turn bullish above that TP to go long. And at 2 a.m. I still didn't see it, and so I said, it's not going to happen. I'm going to go to sleep. And then the notification came of the Japanese PM. So what happened was, let me pull up the article. I'm not going to try to say his name, but Japan's PM resigns for health reasons. And this is actually late, but remember this came out like earlier in the London session. But basically, I guess due to COVID, or as is ulcerative colitis, made a resurgence around the middle of July. I think it's some sort of ulcer. So obviously stepping down, I think the VP might step in. So that obviously had a negative effect on the yens. I think all the yens just simply melted. So this is a good idea that was going to play out, but thank God we didn't enter. This is what happens in Forex and other forms of trading where unexpected events can occur. World war, hurricanes. Well, hurricanes you can kind of predict, or just things like this where a PM steps down because of health reasons. So, for example, if Trump stepped down because of health reasons, you would see reactions in the market. So since then, this is kind of pulled back. I don't think this is going to be a full-on sell-off. I think this is just a overreaction. We'll see who steps in, and et cetera, et cetera. I think they'll decide that over the weekend. But sometimes it's good. Like I said, this is the same concept of overexposure. You never know what's going to happen. And so if you're going to minimize the trades that you're in, I was already kind of sketched out because of the Jackson Hole Symposium. And it was a good idea to not really jump the gun on GJ. But I'm still pretty long on the trade, to be honest. My bias hasn't really changed. The weekly still looks pretty decent. I do think next week we'll fill out this wick and we'll go up. There's no way momentum's going to die now. But if there is a momentum killer, that's probably going to be something like a PM stepping down. So that possibly could happen. But in terms of technicals, it still looks pretty good. We'll know by Monday if GJ is going to go lower or higher. By then we'll kind of have filtered out the noise in the markets. The other trade was for Euro NZD, and then we also had pound NZD. And I'll go over everyone's pair recommendations. And so this is, oh, this looks good. So this looks fantastic. This was also during the London session at 5 a.m. This thing started to really move down. But this was the trade idea that was discussed yesterday with the first target of these lows right here. And now you can see it's just simply melting out of the sky. So going into next week, we can target this trade. If you look to the left, you'll see when price action breaks this blue rectangle, for example here, you do have a nice sell-off all the way down here. And if you look, I can just extend this over, right? Price action has clearly broken that blue zone. And so next week, we can take a trade idea like this. And the stop loss is fine. 3.71 R2R setup. So this could be on the table. And remember, I just showed you an Aussie NZD short, and that coincides with the Euro NZD short as we're banking on NZD strength. So that's a good correlation, a nice pairing to have. So we may have two trades in one basically. And yeah, this looks good. I mean, this is once we came down here, I knew it was going to be a short. We just kind of stalled, and I'm like, okay, you know what, it's not going to move. But then 5 a.m. Usually London session was where a lot of these moves tend to happen, and unfortunately I'm on the Eastern time zone in New York time, so I'm usually sleeping. But this thing surged down, and then this current 4-hour candle, if it can turn into an inverted hammer, that pretty much seals the deal. Even if it doesn't, the daily candle is also very nice. It's a nice inverted hammer as well, so we can enter Monday. I don't trade Sundays, but we can enter Monday, and you can see very clearly that move down here. So very nice. And the other setup was pound NZD, and I'm sure pound NZD is also melting as well. And so yeah, it's also starting to start short. This was a trade idea we discussed yesterday as well. And actually the entry was at 5 a.m. So for whoever asked, you should have, if you're awake, you should have entered the trade. Basically, we just needed a 4-hour inverted hammer. Here's the 4-hour inverted hammer right here, the lowest level, and price has started to melt down. Popping back to the daily, you can see very clearly whenever we break this key level, price does trickle down all the way to these lows, and so that's when we target. You can see we've already started that move down. So on Monday, you can have a trifecta of Euro NZD, Aussie NZD, and Pound NZD. That's all going to correlate well. And it looks good to short. It's obviously a trend reversal at this point. If there is going to be a kind of guaranteed move, it'd probably be down to this recent low. See how we made this low here. So at the bare minimum, price should make its way down to here. Okay, and then if it wants to retrace, that's fine. We'll have our stops at break even by then. But anything more than this is obviously going to be a bonus. Even this move is around. This move itself is around 170 pips, and that's quite a lot. So next week's looking pretty good. Again, if volatility can stay this way, or at least with the miners, it'll be a decent week. So that was pretty much the week, and then we also had some consolidation with the euro, which was a pair we wanted to trade and do something with. But here it is. So euro finally broke out today morning. But you look at how the week went. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday it finally jumped up. But I was getting pretty annoyed with euro. If you look at the 8-hour time frame, you'll see each move cancel each other out. So this down move was canceled out by this up move. This up move was canceled out by this down move. This down move was canceled out by this up move. This up move was canceled out by this down move. I mean, this was just like playing ping pong. It was going to make me pull my hair out because I was thinking of maybe taking short for euro dollar to take it down here and then wait for the break and take this all the way down. But obviously, this had other plans. So that's the type of week, but I'm just happy we ended in profit and at least with some gain. And that's it. So let's see where we're at time-wise. We're at 26 perfect. So at this point, I'll answer any pair recommendations and questions. So I'll give you guys a sec because I know there's a delay between what I say and what gets projected. Nice question. That's a good. What's your risk reward per trade? Do Do you take early TP1 and move to? Yeah. So the risk to reward, I tend to go for 2.0 and greater. But in my opinion, Harry, you know, I'm not too hell bent on the 2.0 as long as the stop loss makes sense. You know, it's not. There's never going to be a scenario where every single time your R2R will be 2.0. Sometimes you'll have to go with a 1.8, maybe even a 1.5. If the stop loss is 20 pips, then I'm fine with the 1.5 R2R. But on average it's a 2.0 risk to reward, or 1 to 2. Do you take early TP and move to free position? Yes. So depending on, so if I'm going to go to thinking maybe with OBS, it's connecting and reconnecting. That is so weird. Okay, yeah, so cool. Okay, I was listening to the old feedback. That noise is gone, thank God. Anyways, so yeah, after TP1 is hit, if I'm awake, I'll take half and then move stop loss to break even. If I'm going to sleep, or I know I'll be going to sleep, I'll just close out the entire trade and take that full 25 pips. Especially with the current markets, it's just been so choppy that you're not going to get clean moves. This is very choppy. For example, a down move, consolidation, a backup move, a down move. Like, this is very choppy market structure. So for me, it's about taking what I can get from the market and then moving on with a different trade idea or getting a re-entry later. So graphics, UJ. Yeah, sure. Let's take a look at UJ. So I kind of spoke about UJ. My plan for next week is waiting for the break of this 4-hour level right here. The level is 105,300, a nice clean level. And you can see last time around, we wicked a bunch below this level. This was a bunch of fake outs. So a lot of people got faked out into a sell, and then prices bounced back, right? Even the time before that, we used it as a support. We have a lot of bullish hammers, and price finally rallied. So you can see this time price action is much more different than previous attempts. Here we have a huge blocky candle that's ready to just push through this level. Other times we come in, all weak, all nice and friendly. Here's, we're just acting nice and friendly, but this time we're going straight through that, support, breaking it with confidence. I do think this is more confirmation than these instances right here. And so right now I'm on the 8-hour time frame. Maybe the 4-hour, 8-hour daily time frame on Monday, we get a nice bearish closure, we will enter. Obviously right now it looks fantastic, but I would like price to make its way down somewhere here to really confirm that we're going lower. Since we do have some wicks that have pierced through there. So if you look at the recent wicks, they come here, right? And so if we get a candle closure below that level, right, then I know we've cleared any possible support, and it's a free fall down to here. So I'm gonna remove the old trade idea and just kind of show you an example trade idea for next week. So my stop loss will be in between the previous range, which is here and here, and our TP will be down to here. So we have a 2.9 R2R setup, and that is based on the 4-hour slash 8-hour time frame. So we'll see if price action can remain this way or get better on Monday, and if so, we can go ahead and enter. Now, do take note that these type of trades sometimes they can be choppy. So like I said, the market structure has been choppy, so we may not get these clean sell-offs like this. We may get, for example, let me try to show you. We may get like a downpour like this, where it goes down a bit, consolidates, wicks, goes down a bit, that sort of thing. So hopefully we just get this slam through, this clean sell-off. Even this time around it wasn't too bad. We had some consolidation, then finally it just pierced through. So we'll see. But UJ looks good. I'm bearish, and if you take a look at the dollar index, you'll probably see that it's ready to melt as well. So here's the dollar index, and we talked about this. So we read an article where they spoke about it potentially breaking out as it was a pennant. But there's two ways pendants can happen, right? And they can play out. So either it goes from here, 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 and then breaks out, or it rejects here and just melts out. So you obviously see it did option 2, which just melts out. Now this is in a very important level we're approaching, 92.10. So if you're trading right now, if you're watching this later, please mark this level down on your dollar index, because it's going to help you a lot. 92.10 is the low we made back in August, right? This was the low we made. This is the low for the year for the dollar index. So if you look at the price action for the entire year, including the start of the pandemic, this is the low we've made at 92.10, right? And so if we do clear this low, the next target I have is 89, okay, and the next I have is 85. I am bearish for the dollar for this year. So if we do clear this on the daily next week, the euros of the world, GUs, they're all gonna rise. Gold will rise. Oil, silver, you get the memo. They're gonna rise. And if you look at the monthly time frame, you'll see just how easy it is to spot this short, right? So here was the peak of the pandemic, or the start of the pandemic in March 2020, where we wicked up to this previous resistance, and then we sold off, right? Now, if you look, I'm gonna I don't want to clean these levels up, but you can see the blue line right here. This where my mouse is, which is 93 flat. That was a proven support back in 2015, right? You tell all these wicks, all these rallies from this level. But whenever we do break that level, it's pretty much all hell breaks loose. And last time we broke this level, we kind of broke it all cute and stuff with a little wick, wick to the top and bottom. Price pulled back, but this time around, you can see it's a huge inverted candle, a lot of momentum. So I do think long term, these are my targets for dollar index. And so if this does happen, I mean, gold could reach 3,000, BTC could reach 20K again. I'm very bearish on the dollar, and I ended off 2019 bullish, but then the pandemic happened, and then Trump happened, and then the George Floyd and Jacob Blake, all that stuff happened, and then we have elections coming. The U.S. is a mess. I would not go there for any tourism activities, even though that's probably one of my favorite countries to visit. Right now, it's not king. It's not king anymore. So I do think it will get dethroned, and the currency that I think will thrive the most is the European euro. I think the European euro will thrive the most, and maybe even hit 1.20, 1.25. So that's why I think UJ is going to melt next week, and over time, a lot of the majors will take over the dollar. So here is the analysis for dollar index. Wait for 93.10 to break on the 4-hour time frame at the minimum. Make sure it's a bearish candle closure, and then look to the majors to identify where you can get entry to go long. Alright, so any other pair recommendations, let me know. Just did dollar, Jared, I read your mind. I just did dollar index. But I'm telling you, dollar index, if it does not hold on to this level of support, you may say, sayonara. This thing can go very, very low. Very, very low. There's no support here. And so, I think that's going to be, it's going to be a sight to see. It might be one of the best, easiest times to trade once that happens. Okay, so while people on YouTube catch up to the feed, let me ask people on Discord, any other pair recommendations? Okay, thank God the noise is gone. I didn't even have my fan on. I think it was just it might have been my NVIDIA graphics card. This thing can get pretty loud. Alright, so I think I have room for maybe one more pair in me. Okay, alright, NZD CAD. So a lot of NZD pairs. Alright, so let's do it. Alright, NZD. Wow, what a week for NZD. No wonder all the Euro NZDs are melting. Wow, that's impressive. My goodness. So early in the week we had a potential short. if we break this level. Obviously, that did not happen. Instead, price jumped up and went to the upside. Let's see on the daily where this thing can go. Wow, so on the daily, I think these highs right here is where it's going to go next. At 0.88700. That's where probably price will head to next. Look at the size of this daily candle. My goodness. Mama, there goes that man. Look at that. That is crazy. So obviously an entry, there's no entry here, right? Once a big move happens, you usually want to wait for price to do something, some sort of retrace. So I think the best bet for you is to wait for price to get here, to get above this high I just talked about, this resistance, and then wait for some consolidation, wait for some rejection. That rejection might be a bullish hammer, that's probably going to be the case, or a bullish engulfing, and that'll take you to these highs right here. So this will be the potential trade idea you'll have. Right, something like this, 2.0, pretty much nice intraday trade, right? Where you're not risking too much, but you are going with the momentum, and this is a lot. This is a lot of momentum right here. So I wait for price to get above 0.88700, maybe on the 4-hour time frame. Wait for price to come here, reject, and then look for an entry point to go long. But that is a monumental reversal. I'll tell you that right there. Next we have gold. Let's see what gold has. Oh, not much. There you go. Oh, finally. So so for some time now, since actually last week, we wanted to go long for gold. We were looking for entry here, but price never closed above 1956, so we never got the entry. Then it waked up, gave us a possible entry, but again, it didn't close, so we didn't go long. Then, the Jackson Hole Symposium happened. This thing melted. This thing shot up, came back down. And then today morning, you can see this nice 4-hour bullish hammer, which is the entry criteria we like to use. So, gold, you could probably enter here. The only problem is your R2R will be cut by a bit, and then we were targeting this high, which is at 2015, right? 2015 was our target. And if you enter there, yeah, the stop loss is in a decent spot. It's a 2.2 R2R setup, so this is fine. Just take note that the next target is at 1977, so you have around 80 pips until price may reverse on you, and that was the high we made yesterday. So when the dollar index went crazy, we made this high at 1977 anyway, so I do think price will go to that high at the very minimum, and then anything after that's a bonus. So on Monday, I'm pretty sure by Monday price will get here, and then what we can do is wait for price to go from 1977 to 2015 for a nice 400 pip gain, right? So that's an option. Nothing too immediate right now, especially since I don't trade Fridays. But Monday it's a different story. Monday's not a free session, so I'll be with the members. But if you're trying to join, I'll send you a coupon code at the end of the session. But this is a possible trade idea, and the 2015 is the recent high we made. So if you remember when we created this high of 2,075, price sold off, and then it came back and only went as high as 2015. So that is the next place where price will most likely want to go, especially with the dollar index looking bearish and looking very bearish. This is at least the minimum. We could see gold go to 3,000 even. So that is what I have for gold, and I think that is everyone's pair recommendations. I'm just gonna do one more check on Discord. I don't want to forget anyone. One second. Let's see. We're good. And then YouTube. Yeah, really. Next month is gonna be amazing. I don't even like September like that, but man, September is about to bring a lot of gifts. So if you're interested in actually becoming a member, you enjoyed the session, I'm gonna hook you up with a nice deal, nice coupon code. Let me just show you how you can get it. So you're gonna go to our website. You're gonna go to Forex Trading Room, click Get Started, and then you fill out this form. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a 50% off coupon code. It's called First 50, right? The word first 50. And what this will do is let you get your first month of 50% off for our monthly subscription. So instead of $147, it'll be $73.50. So once you fill this out, click Next, enter in that coupon code at the bottom, and you will get that deal. This is for your first month, so you can try us out. And you're going to get my live sessions plus Institute Traders live sessions, which are based on smart money. I do price action, and we go live 3 times a day, 3 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and 11 a.m. Eastern. So you're going to be getting a lot of content. And then we have 10 plus signal providers, right? We have 10 plus signal providers that send signals on Discord and Telegram. We have gold traders, oil traders, all types of stuff. So that is what you're going to get with this this package, right? This apprentice package. And with this coupon code, you'll get your first month 50% off. And if you enjoy, you can continue on at the regular pricing structure. So if you're looking to get deals for our 3-month and yearly plans, just message Allison right here, and she'll give you the special coupon codes for that. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. I'll see you guys Monday for another live session. Peace.